Hey there, I'm Jennifer McMaster, a lover of life and co-creator of Two Amazing Little Humans. I'm a registered kinesiologist and health promotion specialist. I currently work as a consultant for a family health team in Ontario, Canada, alongside 52 family physicians and 45 allied healthcare providers. I work with families to achieve and maintain their optimal health and well-being. After 20 years in the field of health promotion, I describe what I do as taking the science and theories about health and well-being, sprinkling in a generous amount of creative arts, intuition, and trust in my patients to create goals and programs for individuals, families, and communities to thrive in the modern world. I'm also proud to be the Chief of Health and Wellness with the Special Forces experience. So what am I talking about today for the 14-day summit? I'd like to invite you to stick around and learn a little bit about the importance of communication with children to thrive in our world. I hope to inspire some reflection about your current communication skills and consider what, if any, improvements can be made to better communicate with your children to create a cohesive, flourishing family unit. It would also be great if you decide to further explore the many aspects of communication and consciously plan your own positive brand of family communication and hone your skills so you and your children can all live your best lives. I believe that communicating with children is an important skill that helps them develop the resilience they will need to ultimately grow into robust, thriving humans. And why is it important to raise robust humans? Because life isn't a risk-free journey, and the more resilient and robust we are, the more likely we will navigate our lives in a fulfilling way, so that when we do reach the end of this journey on earth, we can be satisfied knowing that we lived well for ourselves and those around us. Robust humans thrive in the world. They are strong, healthy, and vigorous. They navigate their lives in such a way that they step confidently into their true self so that they can achieve their fullest potential. How does resilience help create robust humans? Resilience is this ability to bounce back and recover from adverse situations and experiences. When resilient kids encounter a difficult problem, they try to solve it instead of giving up. When bad things happen, they bounce back, ready to face the next challenge. When they make mistakes, they grow and learn from them. Resilient children are more likely to be hopeful, optimistic, and strong, and keep moving and growing from life's challenges as well as from life's gifts. The more times humans bounce back and move forward from adversity, the more robust they will become. How does communication contribute to building resilience? Communication is one of the most empowering ways to improve the lives of children. It's a two-way process for sharing ideas, feelings, and knowledge to achieve a deeper understanding of themselves and those around them. Successful communication is essential to emotional resilience because it cultivates positive emotions and connections by working through negative or difficult emotions that arise from adverse experiences. When we navigate difficult emotions and experiences, we build confidence, competence, and control over ourselves through the sharing and understanding of the emotions and feelings and experiences, and actively engage in the world around us in a more positive and productive way. So that might sound all great, but what exactly is communication? Oxford Dictionary states, and I think you'll agree, that communication is the imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. Think texting, email, skywriting, or even a message in a bottle. Good communication is the successful conveying or sharing of ideas and feelings between people. The desired outcome or goal of any communication process should be and is quoted as being a mutual understanding. Although that seems simple, it is very complex. It involves many facets, such as verbal and nonverbal expressions, active listening, tone, inflection, and intonation, to name a few. It can be influenced by a range of things, such as emotions, intentions, cultural norms, proximity to the person you're communicating with, and even the mediums we use to communicate. Considerate, accurate, effective, and unambiguous communication is a high-level skill desirable in all personal and professional relationships. Why is communication important? Well, the ability to communicate effectively is a key skill, and the better we are at it, the better our quality of life will be through the process of connecting with the people around us and with whom we interact on our day-to-day routines. Good communication skills help us express our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and allows us to listen to others with consideration, which leads to an increase of understanding, tolerance, and acceptance, not only of ourselves, but others. Children need us to communicate with them to help them process the external world and their internal reaction to it in order to survive and ultimately thrive mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Also, your communication with them will help shape their internal voice and narrative as they grow and develop. So now we know what communication is, why it's important for our well-being. Let's dive into how we can communicate with children to foster resilience so that they might grow into those robust, thriving humans to live kick-ass, perfectly imperfect lives. How to communicate with kids 0 to 6 years old is a little different than you would with older kids. So we'll start here as kind of that foundation stage. It's the early part of development, early on in this stage, infancy, early toddlers, a lot of nonverbal and verbal communication through gestures, looks, sounds such as cooing are a wonderful way for us to attach and attune with our little ones. When our little one reaches for us or gazes at us or coos, it's really important that we quickly reach back, gaze at them, coo or talk with them. These immediate attuned responses let the little person know that their communication is important and effective. This will encourage them to keep trying to communicate with you as they develop. When you're talking with your little human, give them some time to try a response with nonverbal and verbal expressions. Try as often as possible to make eye contact at their level. When you're at their level, ask open-ended questions about what they may be seeing or experiencing. Although responses will be limited, this practice is as much for them as it is for you to develop a habit about inquiring around their thoughts, feelings, and observations. The conversations may be one-sided to start, but eventually they will be answering your open-ended questions with the most creative and curious answers, if you've cultivated a strong communication foundation that demonstrates that you care about their contribution to the exchange. When developing those communication skills with your children, it's important to respect and recognize their feelings. Their worlds are really small, but their feelings are really big. Give them space to express all of those feelings. Role model empathy, listening with intention of understanding. Bring loving kindness and acceptance to the communication, and try to limit correction, interruption, and speeding the communication along to your desired agenda or outcome. You can help your child develop a feelings vocabulary so they can express a wide range of emotions. You can use books that you can get online, or you can even do a homemade feelings chart with your children as they get older. Reading together with a variety of tones, gestures, intonations, and inflections can help them associate what they see in a book with what they feel as you read and look at the pictures. Try to navigate and narrate your days with them. If you're in the grocery store, talk about what you're buying, colors, shapes, quantities, reasons for buying it, so that they understand the processes that sometimes we as adults take for granted. Encourage pretend play, as children often find it easier to talk about how their teddy bear is scared of the dark, or to act out interactions from daycare and school through the use of toys and stuffies. Use simple, clear, and age-appropriate requests. Remember, these are foundations for communications you're creating, so it's important that they understand you in the language you're using. Try to role model to the best of your ability with other adults the communication skills you wish to develop with your children. During these young years, avoid dismissing what you perceive as small problems. Small children have narrow worldviews, and their issues seem huge. If you don't listen now and show importance to communicate when they're older and they're struggling with what you perceive as bigger, more important problems, they're less likely to share that with you because you haven't developed that communication relationship. At this age, try to have fun with them when communicating. Cultivate daily routines and lifestyles that allow the time and pace required to engage and communicate and connect as a family. We get really, really busy running from work to school to after school activities. So creating enough space and pace to connect, eye contact, share as a family is really important at this stage. So if your kids are a little bit older, that's 7 to 11 years, keep in mind they're starting to develop their abstract thinking abilities. Their verbal understanding increases, and they can usually communicate their own thoughts more objectively. Your child is starting to see themselves as separate from mom and learning about themselves as independent beings in the world. It's a great opportunity to provide your child with problem-solving activities. Listen and facilitate learning that allows deeper discovery of new and existing subjects and parts of their own being. Ask them what they like as they play and go through their daily routines. Ask them often what they think about what's going on around them. Even if they don't quite know yet what they think about it, it demonstrates that you care enough to inquire, and it will stimulate their minds to consider their internal and external experiences of the world. Also, try to allow and encourage your child to create activities and games that stretch their imagination and test ideas. Try as best as you can to be open to more risky plays and adventures. Try to encourage storytelling and make believe. Allow their creative minds to take over in certain situations. Include your children in the decision-making processes around the home. Invite them into discussions, considering their developmental milestones, but also their individual personalities. So you can help them or invite them and encourage them to help plan family rules, activities, meals, vacations. So give them time and space to develop their personalities and characteristics. Allow them to explore interests through local groups and lessons that they might share at school or through friends or independently. Challenge your child mentally and physically. Go for walks, hikes, bike rides, dance, build forts. And as you're doing this, discuss what they're thinking, feeling along the way so that they become in tune with themselves. All right, I don't have any little kids in this 11 to 14-year-old age range, but I do a lot of work with them through the community and some of my group programs, and I really do enjoy this age of development. During this stage, they become more independent, more autonomous. Sometime between the ages of 11 and 12, most children will begin to reason and expand abstract thoughts and apply logic. And unless there's other issues, they have likely developed into proficient readers and have begun to use language and literacy skills to discover independent projects. Like they might be into magic or duct tape creations or their own little, mad scientist corner. During this stage, they have an increased ability to look beyond the literal interpretation, and they understand metaphoric uses of language. They can detect sarcasm and start to comprehend proverbs. They can begin to manipulate ideas in their minds and form their own analogies. It's a great time to listen and learn from them. Continue to build on the previous skill and allow for more autonomy. Avoid sheltering your children even when they are about to make a decision that maybe from your perception may end poorly for them. Obviously, interject if you think it's going to be harmful or detrimental to their overall health and well-being, but it does show if you let them follow through their train of thinking that you trust their judgment in situations, and even if it doesn't go well, it shows that you're around to support them and help them work through those fumbles. And if their plans go well, heck, you've learned something and you've built their confidence in the process. Even though children are growing into youth and spending more time outside the home with their peers, it's essential to continue to talk with them and maintain and nurture those bonds so that you're an active participant in their lives. Some ways that you can nurture that is to make time to be fully engaged when listening and asking about their day. Be interested. Listen to understand, even if you don't think you will. Try to talk with them and not at them at this age. Invite them to share their perspective about a situation. Ask open-ended questions, validate their thoughts, their feelings, whenever they do reply or share with you. Talk with your child about current events, sports, whatever they might be interested in, even if it's not your thing, because this shows respect for differences. Encourage them to read and converse at a higher level to start raising them up and stretching them beyond their comfort zone or their expectations. Generally speaking, kids can understand more than they can express during this time, so don't downplay issues or topics. Just give time and space for them to consider and share. This time in your family's life is one likely filled with change, worries, and growth. The family dynamics are evolving and are actually a perfect time to revisit family goals, intentions, and directions, and even some of the expectations you have as a family. As you will likely have noticed at every stage and phase of child development, as a parent, we can do the most for our children by slowing down our lives to allow the time and space for communication, to plan our interactions and create an environment that allows optimal communication. Communication within the family is extremely important because it enables the members to express their needs, wants, and concerns for each other and forms the foundation of communication and interaction with everyone we meet in our daily lives outside the family unit. Remember, it's never too late to improve communication and enhance the lives of those around us. Until next time, slow down and listen with the intention of understanding.